Order. It is 7 p.m. on Monday, February 25th. I will call the roll. Mrs. Fee?
Here.
Mr. Giroux?
Here.
Mr. Croner?
Here.
Mrs. Mufeld?
Here.
Mrs. Randall?
Here.
Mrs. Weber is excused, and Mr. Meyer is here. Members of the Wauwatosa School Board value the input of students, parents, staff members, and community members. The board's regularly scheduled meetings provide an opportunity for opinions and concerns to be expressed publicly. The current concerns you hear in the hallway are the children of the school, not public concerns for the board meeting. The board values all comments and will respectfully consider this input in decision-making. The board requests that individuals limit their comment on each item to 3 minutes. Following any comment, an individual board member may respond on the issue raised. However, it is not the intent of the public comment portion of the agenda for the board to enter into a debate with members of the community. Because non-agenda items are not publicly posted in advance, no action will be taken on public comment regarding non-agenda items this evening. Is there anyone present who would like to comment on a non-agenda item? Seeing none, we will move to approval of the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda which board members would like to remove for separate discussion and action? Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Croner, and thank you, Mrs. Randall. Is there any board comment on the consent agenda? There is none. Is there any community comment on the consent agenda? There is none. I will call the roll. Mrs. Fee?
Yes.
Mr. Giroux?
Yes.
Mr. Croner?
Yes.
Mrs. Mufeld?
Yes.
Mrs. Randall?
Yes.
And Mr. Meyer, yes. The consent agenda is unanimously approved. We will now move to the recognition section of the agenda. Mr. Croner, please.
Thank you. Student members of the Future Business Leaders of America, FBLA, from Wauwatosa West and East High Schools competed in the Regional Leadership Conference recently. Wauwatosa West students advancing to the state competition are the team of John Schmutzer, Bruce Rudzel, and Alex Fernhaber, first place in digital video production, and Sammy Schaff, second place in business procedures. Wauwatosa East students advancing to state are the team of Jake Christensen and Derek Wolf, third place in global business, the team of Jason Leon, Ethan Telderer, and Jackson Telderer, first place in network design, and Henry Uchig, third place in business procedures. The business teachers are Dan Prothero and Joanne Novotny West and Jim Rumage East. FBLA is the national organization for all secondary school students participating in business education programs. The organization functions as an integral part of the instructional program of the business education curriculum in secondary schools.
The Wauwatosa West High School mock trial team placed second among 13 teams in the Waukesha region of the Wisconsin State Bar's mock trial competition. Members of the team are Mark Salmon, Leah Rogers, Jack Wonktam, John Schmutzer, Dan O'Brien, Charlie Kopp, Maddie Carroll, Sam Fredrickson, Morgan Ziekmuth, Sam Bukska, Miriam Ashraf, and Marina Leiston. The team is coached by Tosa West Social Studies teacher Steve Oliver, Megan Harney, and attorney Lindsay Draper. The team has worked since summer to analyze a case in which a high school student is accused of attempted first-degree homicide. Using a combination of critical thinking and theater, the team prepared and presented both the defense and prosecution sides of the case, portraying both attorneys and witnesses. The West team brought home the runner-up plaque by sweeping all 9 of the judges' ballots in their first 3 of 4 trials. Mock trials offer high school students the opportunity to argue a case before a three-person panel of judges composed of volunteer attorneys and jurists. The competition is sponsored by the State Bar of Wisconsin.
Wauwatosa East senior Samuel Elliott has been awarded the rank of Eagle Scout from Boy Scout Troop 47. Elliott's service project involved organizing volunteers to replace and rebuild safety railings along a path in Wauwatosa's Charles Jacobus Park. He has completed all requirements and has received National Boy Scouts of America approval.
Okay, thank you. Is there any public comment on any non-agenda items at the end of the meeting here? Seeing none?
Mr. Meyer, could I
Yes.
just add a short recognition of our staff?
Sure.
Yesterday, I attended the music staff recital at Longfellow Middle School. They do this every year, and it's on their own. Individual music teachers from all levels perform on their individual instruments, or if it's voice, they sing. It was an hour presentation. They explained to the people in the audience what our music program is and how it advances, and it's always really enjoyable, and I appreciate them taking their time to put that together and invite the community.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no other comments, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mrs. Mufeld. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Randall. Roll call vote, Mrs. Fee?
Yes.
Mr. Giroux?
Yes.
Mr. Croner?
Yes.
Mrs. Mufeld?
Yes.
Mrs. Randall?
Yes.
And Mr. Meyer, yes. We stand adjourned at 7:06.